Time to clean some wheels. 3 points of this video. 1, I will be using a pressure washer. 2, your cleaner, as in your wheel cleaner, and how much wheel cleaner you will actually go through. 3 is unique challenge of cleaning wheels. Yes, they do represent a unique challenge. In many ways, they're detailer's nightmare, and more specifically, my wheels, which are my nightmare and a detailer's nightmare because they're so intricate. With that said, let's get started. Let me start out with talking about the pressure washer itself. Today's version is the Ryobi or Ryobi. I'm uncertain as to how they pronounce that. Matters not. First tip when it comes to using any electric pressure washer is to fully hook it up. The power is engaged, but I've not turned the machine on. What you want to do is prime the pump so you don't get air caught in the line. So when you turn it on, it'll make this funny noise like it's trying to charge up, and what it's doing, it's just capturing a bunch of air instead of water. You want it to use the water. So I just hook everything up, and then I bleed, and then my tip falls off. I hate when my tip falls off. Always check your tip. That piece of advice can be applied to many things in life. Now, because it's got a quick release button, and this has gotten me into trouble in the past, you want to make sure that's fully engaged, which is part of this moment also is not just bleeding the line. Now you can hear that air as it escapes. And what I'm looking for and hearing for is a complete uniform sound and appearance to my flow. Now that it's fully primed, I can engage the power. See how it charges up like that? Second thing, you'll notice this is a garden sprayer. Most people use this for everything else other than cleaning wheels. What I do is, instead of using a traditional pump sprayer, because what you will find is two things when it comes to cleaning wheels. You will go through a disturbing amount of wheel cleaner, which I find funny because all these manufacturers, and I get it, sell these wheel cleaners in these traditional bottles, 16 ounces, 32 ounces, whatever. I'm willing to bet that I will need more than 32 ounces to even clean the front 2 wheels of my car, which then leads me to these additional points. How do you go from this, which is time consuming, and you're gonna feel a heavy burn on your forearm as you're trying to saturate your wheel with enough wheel cleaner to do the job. Therefore, I default to this because I can pressurize this, and now I can get plenty of flowage with my wheel cleaner, which then leads me to the next point, which is I don't actually use a dedicated wheel cleaner because of that point. I go through disturbing amounts of wheel cleaner, and you will too, if in fact you want your wheels clean versus dirty. I want my wheels exceptionally clean, so it's gonna consume disturbing amounts of wheel cleaner. Now, what I do default to is Simple Green. It's an all-purpose cleaner. I can use it for many, many reasons. It's very, very economical, way more economical than any dedicated car wheel cleaner. I consider wheels heavy-duty cleaning. It recommends a 15:1 dilution ratio. I'm gonna simultaneously clean my wheels as well as the side wall of my tire. When I clean my tire, I want to degrease it because it will naturally build up some, well, greasy schmang along the way. With all that said, let's get into action. Let's zoom in so you can see how dirty my wheels are. I'll just do a little like this. See that? That's pretty dirty. So I have allowed, and it's been agonizing because I love clean wheels just like I love a clean car. My car gets done every week. Okay, I've covered a few points. 1, the pressure washer. Secondly, my degreaser. This comes into the third point of the video, which is the unique characteristics of a wheel. Why is a wheel so difficult? Well, first off, it can be very intricate like this. Secondly, the wheel moves. And I know that's an obvious. How that becomes a problem is this. You will sit here and finesse and clean your wheel based on the perspective of looking at it like this or even looking at it like that. Then you rotate your car, the wheel precisely, and suddenly the horror is revealed to you that despite how tenacious and detailed you were about cleaning the wheel initially, you will realize that you have failed. In the context of not failing, this is where it's going to start, is your application of the wheel cleaner, which is also why this tool, this garden sprayer, is so highly effective. As I'm shooting like this, and trust me, I've trained countless guys, and this is one of the most unique moments because you think, wow, it's a wheel. Do you really have to overthink it? Well, yes, you do, because it moves. So as you're looking at this perspective, all you're seeing is those faces of the wheel, the edges, the angles, the surfaces. What you're not seeing is up underneath all these areas right here. Everything you can't see is still there. So when you rotate your wheel, it's going to be exposed. So you need to make sure when you're spraying, you spray up at these angles, even though you can't actually see them with your eyes in this moment. Now, what's also cool about this wand is I can get inside here, make sure I have complete saturation of inside of the wheel barrels. I want to get the side of the tire. I'm also going to shoot some up in the wheel well. A wheel, in many ways, is the epitome of detail because this wheel precisely, there's just so many angles and surfaces, and it really does come down to the details. I'm going to take my scrub brush. This is not for the wheel. This is strictly for the tire. And what I'm doing is making sure that I aggressively scrub because I want to get the dirt out of any of that raised lettering and numbers. Now I think I've got good saturation, and this is the beauty of the pressure washer, is I can sidestep the traditional scrubbing that I would have to do with wheel brushes and what have you. Now, in case you're not picking up everything that I'm putting down, one of the reasons that this particular strategy is so effective is because I actually don't allow my wheels to get excessively dirty, meaning months and months on end, which is very common. I do not do that. Therefore, maintenance, and this is maintenance, is so much simpler and easier. I can literally clean my wheel once I have assembled my arsenal that easily and that quickly. But this is a combination of all the things of this moment. I keep my wheels cleaned on a regular and consistent basis. I'm using a pressure washer that delivers high velocity water to the moment. I'm getting good saturation with a cleaner that's very effective. So that is what I call the winning combination in this point. So I can cut to the chase, and as the saying goes, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. At this point, I'm going to do an inspection. Looks pretty darn good. I am happy with what I'm seeing. What you can do, there's a few ways you can look up underneath here to check your results if you have the flexibility to do so. Or you can do this. You can wipe some of these underneath areas to see if any dirt's coming off. Now, I accept that despite this strategy and how effective it is, it's still only going to bring my wheels to what I would call 98% perfection if I had to attach a number to it. I accept that if I want true 100%, and by the way, for most people, they would call this 100%, barring the actual water that's still sitting on the wheels, they would call this 100%. They're not 100% to me. So I'm going to show you what I do to obtain 100%. And this will be a case-by-case judgment call based on your standards, based on your particular wheel, how much dirt you've allowed to accumulate, so on and so forth. Let's pretend for a moment that you have tested your wheels, you've looked and you decided, no, not good enough, or you've allowed the dirt to accumulate for too long a period of time. So you come back in, apply, and then I reach for my favorite brushes. Now I know some, detail jockey, or I don't know what you want to call it, they're going to say like, oh wow, dude, you're laying your brushes on the ground. Well, a couple things. Once again, as I will repeat myself, detailing is the height of awareness. Awareness in this moment means where you're laying your brushes. This is cement. It's not gravel, it's not sand, it's not even asphalt. It's cement, it's clean. I'm not picking up any gravel or dirt. This is nylon bristles. It's not a microfiber cloth. Very different animals. It's not going to pick up any dirt as a consequence of laying it on the ground. So these are a few of my favorite brushes. Always check the links below. It'll take you to my website, which I elaborate even more than I do in these videos on the specific tools that I use. So this is my Lug brush here. I can go in here and get the little intricacies. And when it comes to these foreign wheels, Beamers, Mercedes, not only do they have the lug receiver holes, they got these little type of holes here, which maybe have to do with the process of manufacturing these. I don't really know what those holes are for. So you can come in here, this is a little bottle brush, very effective for in here if you need it. This is my wheelbarrow brush. I can go in here because I love seeing a car that has some nice wheels on it, that they have taken the time to detail and keep clean, like my car, inside the wheelbarrows. To me, that's a sign of a true detailer. Now this, it's called a vent brush. This is really cool because it's got a rubber tip. So when I jab this in there, I can be a little less cautious about it because it's got a rubber tip and it's not gonna mar up and scratch the crap out of my wheel. Also, this bottle brush is good for the brake caliper. I've got these cool blue M-Series powder-coated brake calipers that, of course, you want those clean. So now I go back in and hose. Because every wheel truly will be unique. So one of the unique characteristics of my wheel is this additional lip inside here. And it's really difficult to get with even the pressure washer. So I find that maybe I'll touch it up like this. And by the way, I don't mind using my bare hands, exposing it to this chemical because I know it's not caustic and dangerous to me. And it is this point where I'm going to reach for my air blower of choice. Once again, you can find out the one that I default to. This is not the one that I prefer. It's just too small. And I know it's me splitting hairs, but really I have to maneuver it too much versus a traditional fuller size air blower. The volume's not enough, but I'm just testing it out. It's the Chemical Guys blower. Obviously, the sun is changing. The shadows are changing. I wanted to pull you in, though, and show you the after. Show you just how clean. Now, the shadows are going to be a misrepresentation. I still have a little water built up here that I need to take care of. But see all this? I mean, it's just clean. I love it. Clean, clean, clean. Now, before I go,